Welcome to my channel. What if I told you that the biggest reason you are still not fluent in English has nothing to do with grammar, vocabulary, or pronunciation? What if the real problem is happening inside your mind every single day without you even noticing it? Many English learners spend years studying English. They memorize thousands of words, learn grammar rules, watch English videos, and complete countless exercises. Yet, when it is time to speak, they suddenly become slow, nervous, and confused. Their mind freezes. Their words disappear. Their confidence drops. Why does this happen? The answer is simple. Their brain is still thinking in their native language and translating everything into English. That translation habit creates hesitation, fear, slow responses, and lack of fluency. Native speakers do not translate before speaking. They think directly in English. Their thoughts, reactions, emotions, and responses happen naturally in English. The good news is that this ability is not a special talent. It is a skill that can be trained. You do not need to become perfect overnight. You do not need advanced grammar. You do not need difficult vocabulary. You simply need to teach your brain a new habit, and today you will learn exactly how to begin. The first and most important step is starting with small English thoughts. Many learners make the mistake of trying to think about complicated topics immediately. They try creating long conversations, difficult sentences, or advanced ideas before their brain is ready. This creates frustration and confusion. Real fluency does not begin with complex English. It begins with simple English. Think about how children learn language. They do not start with difficult discussions. They begin with small thoughts and simple expressions. English learners should do the same. Start with tiny thoughts that connect naturally with your daily life. For example, I am hungry. I feel tired. I need water. It is hot today. I want to sleep. I am going outside. These sentences may seem very simple, but they are powerful because they train your brain to connect English directly with real experiences. Every time you think a simple thought in English, you strengthen a new mental pathway. Many learners believe improvement only comes from difficult study, but simple repetition is often far more effective. Another common mistake is trying to make every thought perfect. Learners worry about grammar, vocabulary, and mistakes so much that they stop themselves from practicing naturally. Thinking in English should not feel like an exam. It should feel relaxed. Your goal is communication, not perfection. If your thought is simple, that is completely fine. Every small English thought is helping your brain build fluency. Daily life provides endless opportunities for practice. When you wake up in the morning, think, I need to get up now. While brushing your teeth, think, I am getting ready. While eating breakfast, think, this food tastes good. While walking outside, think, the weather feels nice today. These tiny moments may seem unimportant, but they create constant exposure to English throughout the day. Slowly, English becomes part of your routine instead of something that only exists during study sessions. Consistency matters much more than intensity. Many people practice English for hours one day and then ignore it for a week. That approach slows progress. A few minutes of daily practice can create far better results than occasional long study sessions. Another challenge many learners face is fear. Some people even judge themselves inside their own mind. They think their English is too basic. They think their sentences are wrong. They think they sound foolish. But fluency grows through practice, not through self-criticism. Every fluent speaker once spoke simple English. Every confident speaker once struggled. Progress begins when you allow yourself to practice without fear. Patience is equally important. Your brain has spent years thinking in another language. It cannot change instantly. At first, thinking in English may feel slow, awkward, and uncomfortable. That is completely normal. The brain needs repetition to create new habits. The more often you use English thoughts, the more natural they become. Speaking your thoughts aloud can accelerate this process even further. Instead of only thinking silently, use your voice. Say things like, I am making breakfast now. I need to study today. Or, I am feeling relaxed. Speaking aloud trains thinking speed, pronunciation, confidence, and fluency at the same time. Another useful habit is observing your surroundings and creating English thoughts about what you see. Look around and think, My room looks clean, the window is open, my phone battery is low, or the fan is moving fast. This simple exercise teaches your brain to connect English directly with reality. You can also practice emotional thoughts such as, I feel happy today, I am excited about tomorrow, or I feel a little stressed. Emotions make language more personal and memorable. The key is to stop relying on constant translation and start building direct English connections inside your mind. Do not overcomplicate the process. Do not wait until your English becomes perfect. Start small, stay consistent, use English during real life, and trust the process. Every simple English thought is a step toward fluency, and the more often you think in English, the more naturally English will become part of who you are. One of the biggest obstacles to fluent English speaking is the habit of translating every sentence before you say it. Many learners do this without realizing it. They first create a sentence in their native language, then search for English words, then check the grammar, and finally try to speak. By the time they are ready, the conversation has already moved forward. This is why speaking often feels slow and stressful. If you want to think in English naturally, you must slowly reduce your dependence on translation. This does not mean forcing yourself to stop immediately. It means training your brain little by little every day. Start by using simple English thoughts that do not require translation. Instead of thinking about complicated ideas, focus on daily situations. Think, I need to study now. I am going to the store. I feel tired today. The weather looks nice. These small thoughts help your brain become comfortable with English. At first, your mind may still return to your native language. That is completely normal. Do not become frustrated. Every time you choose English, you are strengthening a new habit. Over time, that habit becomes stronger. Another important thing to understand is that fluency is not the same as perfection. Many learners stop themselves from speaking because they are afraid of making mistakes. They want every sentence to be correct before they say it. Unfortunately, this creates hesitation and anxiety. Communication is more important than perfection. Native speakers do not stop and analyze every sentence before speaking. They focus on expressing ideas. You should develop the same mindset. Allow yourself to make mistakes. They are part of the learning process. Every mistake teaches your brain something useful. Another powerful method is describing your surroundings in English. This exercise is simple, but extremely effective. Look around your room and describe what you see. The door is open, the light is bright. My desk looks organized. My phone is charging. The fan is moving slowly. These observations train your brain to connect English directly with real objects and situations. This connection is very important because it reduces the need for translation. Instead of seeing an object and thinking of the word in your native language first, your brain begins recognizing the English word automatically. As you continue practicing, your thoughts become faster and more natural. You can also describe actions. Say things like, I am drinking water. I am opening the window. I am reading a book. I am walking outside. These simple descriptions create constant English exposure during daily life. Another useful habit is talking to yourself in English. Many learners think speaking practice requires another person. That is not true. You can practice anytime and anywhere. Talk about your plans, your goals, your day, or your opinions. For example, today was productive. I completed my work. I need to practice more tomorrow. I am excited about the future. Self-talk helps develop confidence because there is no pressure and no fear of judgment. You are free to experiment, repeat sentences, and practice at your own pace. Speaking aloud also trains your mouth and improves pronunciation. Remember that speaking is a physical skill. The more you use your voice, the easier speaking becomes. Another helpful exercise is imaginary conversation practice. Pretend someone asks you a question and answer it aloud. Imagine being interviewed about your day. Imagine introducing yourself to a new friend. Imagine discussing your hobbies or future plans. This type of practice prepares your brain for real conversations. It teaches you how to respond quickly and naturally. Listening also plays a major role in developing English thinking. If you rarely hear English, your brain will continue finding it unfamiliar. Daily listening helps English feel normal. Listen to podcasts, videos, interviews, stories, and conversations. Pay attention to pronunciation, rhythm, and common expressions. Do not worry if you cannot understand every word. Focus on the main idea. Understanding improves gradually through repeated exposure. The more English enters your ears, the more naturally it begins appearing in your thoughts. Repetition is the secret behind all progress. Small daily practice may seem insignificant, but it creates powerful long-term results. Every English thought, every spoken sentence, and every minute of listening contributes to your growth. Do not look for instant results. Real fluency develops quietly through consistent effort. Day after day, your brain becomes more comfortable with English. Eventually, you will notice something remarkable. Instead of translating, you will begin thinking directly in English. Responses will come faster, conversations will feel easier, confidence will grow naturally. That transformation does not happen through magic. It happens through daily practice, patience, and persistence. Keep using English during real life. Keep speaking without fear. Keep training your mind every day. The more often you think in English, the more naturally you will speak in English, and that is the foundation of true fluency. As your ability to think in English improves, it becomes important to make English a natural part of your everyday life instead of something that only appears during study sessions. Many learners spend time reading grammar books, memorizing vocabulary lists, and watching educational videos. But the moment they finish studying, they return completely to their native language. Because of this, English remains separate from their real life. If you want fluency, English must become connected with your routines, your environment, your emotions, and your daily experiences. One of the most effective ways to do this is by continuing to describe your surroundings throughout the day. Wherever you are, there is always something to observe. If you are at home, you can think about the objects around you. If you are outside, you can describe the weather, the people, the traffic, or the buildings. For example, the sky looks cloudy today. The street is busy, the store is crowded, the children are playing outside. These simple observations strengthen your ability to create English automatically. Another useful step is adding more details as your confidence grows. Instead of saying the room is quiet, you can say the room is very quiet and peaceful today. Instead of saying the weather is hot, you can say the weather feels hot and uncomfortable this afternoon. Gradually, your sentences become longer and richer without feeling forced. This natural expansion is how fluency develops. Another powerful habit is expressing your emotions in English. Many learners focus only on objects and actions, but emotions are a major part of daily communication. Think about how you feel throughout the day. Say things like, I feel happy today. I am excited about this opportunity. I feel nervous before the meeting. I am grateful for this experience. Emotional language helps English become personal. The brain remembers language more effectively when it is connected with real feelings. This makes your practice stronger and more meaningful. Another important skill is learning common English phrases instead of studying only individual words. Native speakers often communicate using phrases they have heard and used many times before. They do not build every sentence from the beginning. For example, phrases such as, I have no idea, that makes sense, I am looking forward to it, no problem, and take your time are used constantly in daily conversations. Learning complete phrases allows your brain to recognize patterns. When you remember entire expressions, speaking becomes faster because you are not creating every sentence word by word. Your mind begins retrieving familiar language automatically. This saves time and increases confidence. Listening remains one of the most powerful tools for developing this skill. Every time you listen to natural English, you expose yourself to useful phrases, sentence structures, pronunciation patterns, and conversational rhythm. The brain learns through repeated exposure. That is why daily listening is so important. Listen to content you enjoy because enjoyment increases consistency. If you like stories, listen to stories. If you enjoy interviews, listen to interviews. If you prefer educational content, listen to educational content. The key is regular exposure. Even 20 or 30 minutes each day can create significant improvement over time. Another effective technique is shadowing. This means listening to a short sentence and immediately repeating it aloud. Try copying the speaker's pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation as closely as possible. This exercise trains both your ears and your mouth. It helps improve pronunciation while also teaching your brain how natural English sounds. Many learners understand English but struggle to produce it because they rarely practice speaking. Shadowing helps bridge that gap. It turns passive listening into active learning. Another valuable habit is recording yourself speaking. Choose a simple topic and speak about it for 1 or 2 minutes. You can talk about your day, your goals, your hobbies, or anything that interests you. Then listen to the recording. This allows you to notice areas that need improvement. You may discover pronunciation mistakes, repeated words, or unnecessary pauses. Do not criticize yourself harshly. Use the recording as a tool for growth. Over time, you will notice progress. Your speech will become smoother, clearer, and more confident. Consistency remains the most important factor in all of these activities. Many learners search for a secret technique that will make them fluent quickly. In reality, there is no shortcut. Fluency is the result of small actions repeated every day. 10 minutes of daily practice is often more effective than several hours once a week. The brain learns through repetition. Every English thought, every phrase you repeat, every conversation you practice, and every minute of listening contributes to long-term improvement. Some days you may feel motivated and other days you may not. Continue practicing anyway. Progress is often invisible at first. Your brain is adapting quietly behind the scenes. Then, one day you realize that you understood a conversation more easily, responded more quickly, or thought in English without translating. Those moments are signs that your efforts are working. Keep moving forward, trust the process, and remember that every small step is helping build the fluency you want. The final, and perhaps most important step in learning to think in English is making English a permanent part of your lifestyle. Many learners treat English as a subject that exists only during study time. They open a book, watch a lesson, complete an exercise, and then completely disconnect from the language. This approach limits progress because the brain does not receive enough exposure. The fastest learners are usually the ones who surround themselves with English regularly. They listen to English, read English, think in English, and speak English throughout the day. English becomes part of their daily routine rather than a temporary activity. This constant exposure creates familiarity, and familiarity creates fluency. One of the biggest barriers that prevents learners from reaching this stage is fear. Fear of mistakes, fear of embarrassment, fear of sounding incorrect, and fear of being judged. These fears cause many people to remain silent even when they know enough English to communicate. The truth is simple. Fluency is built through practice, and practice always includes mistakes. Every fluent English speaker has made mistakes. Every confident speaker has said something incorrect at some point. Mistakes are not signs of failure. They are signs that you are actively learning. When you stop fearing mistakes, you give yourself permission to grow. Instead of worrying about perfection, focus on communication. If people understand your message, you are already succeeding. Confidence develops through action, not through waiting. The more you speak, the more comfortable speaking becomes. Another important lesson is patience. Many learners expect rapid results and become discouraged when progress seems slow. Language learning does not happen overnight. Your brain needs time to build new habits and strengthen new connections. Every day you practice, your mind becomes slightly more comfortable with English. The changes may seem small, but they accumulate over time. Think of language learning like exercising. You may not notice major improvements after a few days, but weeks and months of consistent effort create significant results. The same principle applies to English fluency. Small daily improvements eventually lead to major transformation. Another valuable habit is continuing to use English during ordinary activities. While preparing breakfast, describe what you are doing. While traveling, observe your surroundings in English. While working, explain your tasks in English. While relaxing, talk about your thoughts and feelings in English. These small practices keep the language active inside your mind. They prevent English from becoming something that only exists inside textbooks. The more often English appears in your daily experiences, the more natural it becomes. Another useful strategy is reading simple English content regularly. Reading exposes you to sentence structures, vocabulary, and natural expressions. Choose material that matches your level so that reading feels enjoyable rather than frustrating. Even a few pages each day can strengthen your understanding of the language. Combined with listening, speaking, and thinking practice, reading helps create a complete learning environment. Another important point is building automatic responses. At first, you may need several seconds to create a simple English sentence. This is normal. With repetition, however, common expressions become automatic. Instead of translating, your brain immediately produces phrases such as, I am tired, I need help, that sounds great, or I understand. These automatic responses are evidence that English is becoming part of your natural thinking process. This is exactly what you are trying to achieve. The goal is not memorizing endless grammar rules. The goal is developing the ability to think and respond naturally in English. Consistency remains the foundation of everything. You do not need perfect study plans, expensive courses, or complicated methods. What you need is regular practice. 10, 20, or 30 minutes each day can create remarkable results when maintained over time. The brain learns through repeated exposure. Every English sentence you think, every phrase you speak, every recording you listen to, and every page you read contributes to your progress. Some learners underestimate the power of small habits because they seem too simple. However, simple habits performed consistently are often more powerful than advanced techniques used occasionally. Continue thinking in English, continue speaking aloud, continue listening daily, continue learning useful phrases, continue using English during real life situations. Little by little, your confidence will grow. Your hesitation will decrease. Your speaking speed will improve. Most importantly, your brain will begin accepting English as a natural language instead of a foreign one. Remember this carefully. Thinking in English can completely transform your fluency. Stop translating every sentence. Use simple English thoughts. Describe your surroundings. Talk to yourself confidently. Listen to English every day. Learn common phrases. Practice consistently. Make English part of your lifestyle. Do not fear mistakes and do not give up when progress feels slow. Your brain becomes stronger through repetition. The more often you think in English, the more naturally you will speak English. If this video helped you, like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more powerful English learning lessons. And always remember one important truth. Fluent English begins inside the mind first, and every small English thought you practice today brings you one step closer to the confident, natural, and fluent English speaker you want to become.